fire cools, water seeks its own level. No matter how extreme a situation is, it will change. It cannot continue forever. Thus, a great forest fire is always destined to burn itself out. A turbulent sea will become calmer. Natural events balance themselves out by seeking their opposites, and this process of balance is at the heart of all healing. This process takes time. If an event is not great, the balancing required is slight. If it is momentous, then it may take days, years, even lifetimes for things to return to an even keel. Actually, without these slight imbalances, there could be no movement in life. It is being off balance that keeps life changing. Total centering, total balance would only be stasis. All life is continual destruction and healing over and over again. That is why, even in the midst of an extreme situation, the wise are patient. Whether the situation is illness, calamity, or their own anger, they know that healing will follow upheaval. Interpretation. I was struggling with this one because I'm not sure if there is much more to add to this, because of how much it is connected to the previous video from day number 10 on disaster. But if I was to try to expand it just a little bit, while trying to center it around music performance. So if the version of your disaster was something as light as a missed technical jump on the keyboard, or bad lesson, or bad performance, bad rehearsal, or disaster for you is a missed opportunity at an audition or a competition, after that, with a little bit of time, a bit more responsibility, combining it with humility and patience towards your own emotions and actions, things can turn around. Life presents you with this ongoing motion in which it's up and down all the time, in which you can try to capitalize on the things when things go well, when you have this momentum going. And then when things slow down, you simply need to be more aware, more perceptive when you are approaching that hill, and when you are losing that momentum, when you are losing that traction, or when you have just experienced some kind of disaster. Referencing one of the chapters from that Transurfing book, Transurfing of Reality, it is important to have a broader perspective on what it is you do, as it can facilitate that healing process. So if you imagine that you are a fly, an insect, that tries to escape the room through a window, through a glass, and therefore you continuously keep banging into that window, if you stop, it's going to take you an effort to fly away from a seemingly, like, what appears to be an exit for you. And as you fly away, you move yourself away, detach yourself from the current situation, environment, perception of that situation. And that's how you will see that there may be a little opening, little window that's already open that you can actually get through. It's just to the side from the area that you've been banging to. It could be some of the worst things for us to do in the process of healing or breaking through that disaster that I was talking about in the previous video, if instead of focusing on that stillness of mind, even if it's just for a minute, and then through that process increasing our perception, our awareness, then we, instead of all of that, we just keep doubling down on running through the motions and actions that probably led us to losing that momentum or losing that traction and therefore getting to that disaster in the first place. And if we have no responsibility over disaster, if a disaster happened at its own accord, which frequently is the case, still it is important to take a moment and kind of reassess what it is that you need to be doing right now. Because it would be a futile effort to keep running through the same actions that you did when living under previous circumstances.